Hey guys, good morning. We are busy this morning getting ready to go to Dinosaur National Park. I am super excited. We've never been there. We are using our new National Parks Pass for that, so that'll be awesome. And we are going to be staying at a little hotel that I found that looks like a pretty good deal. Yeah, so there's Reagan. He's supposed to be emptying the dishwasher so that we can get going. So let me get them back on task and then we'll come back. All right. Yeah, we got to get chores done. I've got all this stuff to get ready and eBay stuff to get packaged and shipped before we can get going. All right, so let's get on task. When should you go dumpster diving? Well, there are a lot of considerations when you're trying to figure out when's the best time. And what it really in the end will come down to is trial and error, and you're going to have to figure it out, because a lot of it is based on, well, where is it that you're choosing to go diving? And if you haven't watched our other diving for beginners video about where to dive, definitely check that one out, and our update to it about is retail diving illegal or not. Check those two out. Those videos will help you decide where it is that you want to start diving. Okay, so then let's talk about when. Well, for me, since the majority, my bread and butter is public schools and parks and churches, let's start with public schools. I do those at the same time that I'm doing the park, so we'll just do those together. I do Sunday mornings, early Sunday morning. Hey Lulu, get started on your chore, please. We got to get going. I get as early as possible. Just a sec. All right, made the smart choice and came downstairs. Okay, so I go early Sunday mornings. Number one, it's summertime. You want to get out while it's nice and cool. Duh, right? Those bins heat up, especially, that metal, that steel. It gets really, really hot and can even be dangerous on a really hot day. Plus you're going to get uncomfortable, so get out as early as possible. The other reason, a couple reasons for doing it on Sunday mornings. Number one, on Saturday, a lot of people who have had a yard sale or been cleaning their house, they've had time by Sunday morning to go and dump that stuff into the bins. And so you're going to get a lot more of the residential dumping, okay? Because you don't go to public schools just for the stuff from the school. You go for the stuff from the neighbors as well. So there's another key. Another reason is that my particular area is a very religious area. And so a lot of people are at church all Sunday morning. And there's like different times that congregations will go in. And so I can count on there not being a lot of traffic, in and around anywhere other than at the churches from about 8 a.m. till about like 4. But I try to always be done by noon. But anyway, during that whole time frame, people are churching it up. And so which is really, really convenient, especially if you are leery of running into people, having to explain yourself, having an audience, any of those kinds of things. You go during that time, you're going to have best weather conditions. You're going to have the best people conditions because there's not going to be people. And you're going to be most likely to have the best volume because people will have had time to dump their stuff. So that's why I go Sunday mornings. Not only that, my husband tends to be home Sunday mornings, and so the kids are fine. I don't need to worry about anything. All good reasons for why I go when I go. You're going to have to figure out when is the best time for you to go. Now, if you're doing say you only have nights, okay, you're going to run into some issues. You're going to need flashlights. It's more dangerous. You don't know who's out prowling around in the middle of the night, especially depending on what kind of sketchy area you're diving in, okay? There's things that even with a flashlight, you're not going to be able to see. If there's needles down there, if there's broken glass, if there's sticky, gooey, you're not going to see it. And so you're going to have to take extra precautions, in what you wear and your protective gear and whatnot. That's yet another reason that I like to go first thing in the morning. I don't need to worry about those kinds of things. Keep my eye out, be aware, and I'm going to be just fine. The other thing is everything looks more suspicious at night. Everything. And even if you are 100% within your rights and you're not doing anything illegal, just the fact alone that you're out at night makes you look shady. Let's just be honest. It's true. Okay, everything looks shadier, shadier at night. So keep that in mind. Are you more likely to have people, neighborhood watch and, grandma that sits at her window watching everything that goes by? Are they more likely to be calling the cops? Yes, because they're afraid you're going to be breaking into their house next. It just is what it is, right? This is just people and their mentality, and it's just one of those things that you're going to have to consider, okay? So, are you more likely to have to deal with a cop? Yes, especially if you are at a retail location. It is what it is. Now, if you go in the middle of the night, it might be a little less likely, because by then, grandma's hopefully asleep, neighborhood watch, they've gone to bed, and the cops, someone has to call, or they have to be, patrolling in order to see you, in order for the, anyone to be aware of you. The stores, most people are gone, so there's not going to be the random, store employee coming out and being like, what are they up to? So at that point, really all you have is the odd patrolman. And as long as you're minding your business and you're not making a mess or a racket, you're probably going to be fine. You're probably not going to have anything to deal with. But you're also going to lose a lot of sleep because you're out there in the middle of the night. So that's going to throw off your whole, awake asleep schedule. So these are considerations, okay? But if that's the only time that you can do it, and if that's what ends up working out best for you in your area, then do it, okay? But take all the necessary precautions and be prepared. Other things as far as when. So we've just been talking time as far as, morning, noon, or night, but let's also talk times of year. Well, that depends, again, on where it is that you're choosing to dive. For public schools, summer. Summer is the time. That's the time to do it. Schools are cleaning out. Teachers are retiring, moving, whatever. There's construction, remodeling. That is when the schools are cleaning everything out. During the school year, you've got cafeteria garbage to deal with, and it's disgusting. I get all these misconceptions about how gross, this thing is that I do. It's really not. Will there be nasty stuff? Yes, of course. If you've been with us a while, there have been some nasty situations, okay? That dead animal that was like eviscerated and bleh, okay? There are some gross things. But generally, no. But if you go during the school year, you've got all that lunch stuff and it's nasty. So, not only that, the schools, they're done, okay? They're focused on teaching your kids. Awesome. So glad. That's what they should be doing. They're not focused on cleaning things out and replacing stuff and, no, that's not happening. What you will get for the first month or two, when school's back in session, on the weekends, there will still be people doing those last minute yard sales and cleaning out, their house and whatever else. So there will still be some weekend dumping, but that's only the first month, maybe two tops, that school's back in session. So I would still, and I will still keep, looking those last few weekends, and checking it out. But I would not bother at all during the week. And then once that first month or two that school's back in session, I won't be bothering at all, period, with the schools till the next summer. Now, so that's public schools. Say you're doing parks, which, like I said, I do right along with the public schools. I'll keep checking those, just like same as with the public schools, for that first month or two into the new school year. And then after that, I'm done. Churches. When? Well, I tend to hit those on Mondays. Reason being, the predominant religion in the area has designated Monday as like the family day. And so there's not going to be meetings and stuff like that at the church. So Monday is, for me, the best time to go and hit up the churches. There's some, like my favorite one, which I just hit the other day, and I've got a pick to go through, so stay tuned for that. And I swing by that one every time I go to my favorite grocery store, because it is on the route to my favorite grocery store. And I just swing by, take a little cursory look, a little glance, every single time I go to the grocery store. Now, when winter comes, am I going to be doing that? Probably not. It's just, there's really not a need. Most people are not doing their deep cleaning and dumping in winter. That's my experience. Okay. When it's going to be the best time for your churches? Well, that depends what kind of church you're checking out. If you're checking out a temple or a, whatever kind of religion, where is it called? The Kingdom something, where the Jehovah's Witnesses go. I don't know all the different names, but anyways, Kingdom Hall, that's what it is. So it depends, what day do they go to church? If they go to church on Saturday, that's not when you want to go hit the bins, because then you've got to explain to the reverend or whomever why you're going through their bins, and you don't want to bother with that, right? And plus, then they might try to convert you, and who knows. Okay, so figure out when they are in church. And it's also a respect thing, too. If they're in there doing their worship, you don't want to be, getting in their stuff while they're trying to, commune and whatnot. So be respectful. Figure out when they're going to be in church. Don't go then. Okay? Figure out when they're least likely to be there, and that's the time to swing by and check out the church bins. All right. Retail. So we've talked about kind of times a day. Let's talk times of year. Retail, they're throwing stuff out all year long. So if you choose to focus solely on retail, 100% only that, you can be looking all year long. But it's going to come down to you. I can't tell you 100% when, your local Staples or whoever it is that's still in business, Max Office Depot, who's still around. I'm not sure. But I can't tell you 100% for sure when Barnes & Noble is dumping stuff. I don't know. Okay? You're going to have to do the trial and error. You're going to have to go at the different times throughout the week, throughout the year, and figure out when are they dumping, because a lot of places, they'll do a clean out, certain times of the week. And then also, okay, that reminds me, you need to also figure out, and this is pertinent, this is very important, when are their bins getting emptied? When are they coming and being collected? That is so key. You want to get there right before that happens. When the bins are chock full and you got a lot of stuff to go through and you're going to fill up your truck or your van, that's when you want to be there. So you need to figure out when are they emptying their bins. You can do that just with your surveillance, recon, be checking it out, be watching. You can do that by nonchalantly and without any kind of, suspicious manner, getting to know a store employee and find out. Okay, make a friend. Don't let them know what you're doing unless they want to be in on it with you. That's fine, but find out those things. You're going to need to know those schedules, because you don't want to get there the day after they just emptied the bins. That's a waste of your time and your gas and your effort. So just don't. Figure out right before they're going to empty it. You get in there, get your stuff. There is an issue though, and this is something to consider. If you get there right before they're going to empty it, if they have one of those big industrial ones, everything that's down on the bottom, you cannot get to. You can try, but it's very dangerous and it's just not likely, okay? Even in the smaller bins, you're not likely to be able to get down to all the stuff. So you're going to have to decide through trial and error if you want to be there, if you really want to be there when it's absolutely full and all you can get is the stuff on the top, or if you want to go twice a week, which is my recommendation. So you get there about halfway through and you can still get relatively easily and safely, if you've got the, proper tools and equipment, you can get to everything. And that's awesome, especially if you're like really agile and you're one of those monkeys that can just hop in and out, you little gazelles. Awesome. Otherwise, figure out, step ladders and stuff like that. That's what I have to do. But anyway, if you go twice a week, you're going to be able to get down in there and get that other stuff. And then right before dumping time or emptying time, then you can get all the stuff that's now on the top. So that's going to come down to you, but I recommend twice a week for retail. So those are kind of my whens. You've got your seasons, and that's, depends on where you're going to be diving. You've got your times of day. But at the end, what this all comes down to is those words again, trial and error, and you figuring it out. I give you my recommendations, you take those, you work with those. Your situation is going to be different than mine. Your area is going to be different than mine. You're going to have to get those things figured out. It took me years and years of little, recon here and there, checking things out, and then trying to figure those things out. One other one that I can think of is your residentials, okay? What day does this neighborhood put their garbage out to be collected? that's, you want to go the night before, see what has been put out, or you want to go early that morning and see what has been put out. Okay. One other, okay, this is the last one. Dorms, college residential areas, apartments, whatever. You want to be there starting about 2 weeks before that semester lets out. You can go at the end of every semester and you'll get a little bit of stuff, but your big one is right after everyone graduates, or those 2 weeks leading up to graduation. So the end of the spring semester, that's going to be the big haul time. That's when all the students flying home, they're going back to Florida, they can't carry all that stuff with them, and they're dumping all of it. You've got textbooks, you've got shoes, clothes, housewares, food, cleaning supplies, everything you can imagine. It's going to be in those bins, along with a lot of actual garbage too. But for those, I recommend 2 weeks before that semester lets out, specifically and especially that spring semester, right before graduation. Start 2 weeks before. I would say you'll continue collecting at least a little bit for 1 to 2 weeks after graduation. After that, there's nothing left. It's all been cleared out. It's all gone, so don't bother anymore. I would not bother hitting those places up during the summer. I mean, every now and then you'll find a roll of wrapping paper, a few things here and there, but it's really not worth the gas and the time. Okay? And you want to be making the most of your time and effort and gas money. So, again, trial and error, get those kind of things figured out. All right, I think that's all I've got for today for the whens of dumpster diving basics. If you have any questions about that, or concerns or comments, nice comments please, leave those down below and I will address them just as soon as I can. We got a lot to do to get ready to get on our way to the Dinosaur National Monument. So excited, it's going to be awesome. Not excited for the drive, but one of those necessary things. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. Welcome to all of our wonderful new subscribers, and a continuing loving hug and embrace to all of our loyal viewers who have been with us for some time. We are so grateful and glad to have you. Have a wonderful day. Happy pickings. We'll catch you next time. Bye.